recent statistics shows that the 5 million, as many as 5 million Chinese came to this country. And assuming that the 20 million is the total number of the foreign visitors to this country, it accounts for 25% of total tourists ever visited to this country. I think it's a great number indeed.
How is yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes. I think it's a very welcome change because increasingly the Chinese people are coming over to this country. I think this is a very nice sign that they sort of as a sign, improvement between the two peoples. Anyway.
Now,
yes.
The Japanese government has vowed to attract some 20 million tourists by 2020 when the Tokyo Olympics takes place. Why is the Japanese government vowing to attract so many tourists to that country?
Well, that's a good question, but seemingly, first of all, the Chinese people are very nice customer to this country. They come on over to here and visit the major metropolitan cities to buy up things. They used to buy a little bit, sizable items like a electronic cooker or something like this. But in recent years, their preference have a little bit more changed. They prefer to buy up small items such as the cosmetics, haberdashery items or something like this, so that they can carry very easy within a home. I think, according to what I understand, is that it's something that we take it for granted. The items are not readily available in China, so they are so much curious to buy up things. Yes.
Now, could you explain the policy in greater details, especially concerning the 6 northeast prefectures? We know that Fukushima is where the nuclear accident took place or happened in 2011. What's the consideration of including these prefectures to be highlighted in the policy? And what about the potential danger tourists could face when they're visiting these prefectures?
Well, I don't think there is any potential danger enough to mention because when the great earthquake happened, and well, this is a sort of a national disaster, greatest national disaster that the recent Japan has ever experienced. And at the time of accident, the government actually specified the areas which are considered to be very dangerous and evacuated the people from there to other places. And the people living in there actually spread out, throughout Japan, and still they specify certain areas where the radiation, volume is a little bit higher, and the people can't come inside. And of course, the tourists are guided according to the level of the radiation, which is very, very small. And as you say, when you go to the particular areas, there is a sign indicating the level of radiation, which is considered to be very safe, therefore very easy. You can see it, and no Japanese people take it so serious today, and we never take any Chinese people to any risky places at all. So I think it's very safe indeed.
Yeah, well, may I add one question here, because after all, people still have some doubts, especially outside of China. Do you think the policy of putting Fukushima among the 6 prefectures where people who want to travel to Japan by themselves, where they have to make a stay over, do you think that's kind of a wise policy to do to promote tourism for Japan? What could be the consideration behind this policy?
Well, I think just because the places like this is they actually made the people victim of circumstances, and it's really against their will, and actually devastated areas need some restoration, and in order to improve the economic situation that is actually devastated by the earthquake, we need some help. These people need to be helped anyway, and the best way is to usher in the foreign people to visit these areas and actually let their naked eye to see it and enjoy sort of the local life that the Fukushima and all these areas, all these areas actually accommodate. I don't think if the Chinese people come over there, they surely welcome them, and actually these people very, very hospitable. So the Chinese people will surely enjoy their stay in there. And actually, why the government has expanded from the original three prefectures up to 5, 6 different places means that they offer some selection or sort of much wider choice on the part of the Chinese people to pick up. And actually, excuse me, new areas, as I say it, is a little bit far away from the epicenter of the earthquake, so it's much, much safer. Even if the Fukushima is very safe, but some of the areas are also safe too, and they have scenic beauties, and they have good mountains, and there would be some historical places that they can possibly visit too.
Instead of just shopping. Well, the underdeveloped service infrastructure in Japan is another point in case, and some people have seen it as a kind of potential obstacle to the boom of Japan's tourism industry. How can Japan be made more tourist friendly, or if not specifically for the Chinese?
Well, actually, Japanese government and all Japanese didn't take up, so much interest on the tourist itself, because as you know, Japan used to be the center for production for tangible goods, such as the machines and cars, and they have devoted their devotions for the production of these tangible items up until quite recently. However, the companies, actually start moving out because of the exchange rate of Japanese currency was very expensive, as well as the labor cost became very much expensive. Therefore, they can't afford having production center in there. So they start shifting their production to overseas. Particularly, they have transferred facilities to China. If you visit any economic zones of the major cities of China, you will see many Japanese factories and plants in there. However, the gap created by the exodus of many, many Japanese corporations, there has to be some measures, and this gap has to be compensated by something else. And they start looking at the tourism. Tourism has been for a long time neglected, but I think it has its potential to grow. Japan is a country where the people are motivated to go out, but when it comes to accommodation of foreign people from other countries, Japan is quite new. Therefore, considering this, back in 2008, Japanese government set up the tourist agency, and they started to work on the tourism quite honestly. And this is the start of the business, but actually it's getting so steady and making a steady growth. And last year saw so many number of foreign people coming in, and particularly Chinese people, because of the maybe obvious closeness, geographical closeness to this country, and sharing the similar historical background and cultural heritage. Chinese people are now very nice customer to us.